Good day. You are once again with the Speakers Bureau, St. Lucie County Public Schools Speakers Bureau. I'm Dr. Donna Mills. I'm one of 5 school board members here in St. Lucie County. And we have the Speakers Bureau for a reason. Our reason and our mission is to inspire, encourage, motivate our community to be the best that they can be, one person at a time. So if you're watching today, we just want to encourage you through the story of our guests. We have several different guests that come on. This will play over and over again this month with a particular guest. And our guests are willing to come on and share their life story. And their purpose and reason, they're very open. They want to talk about what they went through so that we can understand that we understand what you're maybe going through. So you'll get all different type of experience of lives, and I'm sure that it will speak to you today in some way. We are so privileged today to have with us a young man. I call him a young man. Is Joseph Dillard III. And Joseph is an author and have written a couple of books now, and is on his 3rd book.
Absolutely, yes.
And has a website. He's also like a motivational speaker, I can say, because you've been with us as a speaker at several different schools.
Correct.
And have encouraged the children on their school location.
Yes.
And he's done a simile style speaking engagements.
Correct.
And so he's a speaker as well, a motivational speaker.
Absolutely.
And we're so happy to have met you a few years ago.
Yes,
What has it been, like 3 years now?
Going on 3 years.
Yeah,
yes,
and just have followed your life with your books and with your speaking engagements. So Joseph, welcome.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you for coming.
Not a problem at all.
And whenever I call on you, you are always ready.
Yes, ma'am.
And so I want you, before we finish the program, make sure you get your website out there, because you're a young man. Young people can really be encouraged by your website. I've already gone on it, and I was extremely encouraged with what I saw.
That's good to hear.
Yes. And we're going to talk a little bit about your books as well, what they're about.
Okay.
But I want to start out with you today asking you this question. What is your best childhood memory?
My best childhood memory.
And maybe what we need to do is have you tell your story first. That can help you kind of think of something within that story after. So let's start out with that question.
Okay, well,
tell us about
story.
your childhood story.
I hate to say it, but it was the typical story of a young black man growing up in the projects.
Okay.
My biological father was in prison my entire life. My birth mother had certain challenges that she faced, drugs being one of them, along with a lack of education. And because she lacked education, she wasn't able to help me with homework when I came home. She would always say that I was smart and that I was bright, but then that was the end of it.
Yeah.
I would have to look outside of home for the help and direction, of which being in that community I didn't find.
Wow.
We weren't allowed to go outside because there was a bunch of gunshots, a lot of angry people who wanted to shoot guns, kill, rob, fight, steal.
Who
the
raised
typical.
you?
I was raised by my grandmothers, Grace, who actually lives here in Walbasso, and Cheryl. And my birth mother, she worked a lot, and up until school. Elementary school were my favorite years because I was confined to home, but then I was able to explore at school, and I saw the diverse realities of different worlds.
That sounds like a defining moment.
It actually was, and it helped to keep me dreaming at such a young age. I knew that there was something different in life, though I lacked the ability to get to it at that age. I remained hopeful. And that's why I always talk about hope whenever I speak.
So school made a tremendous difference
Oh, absolutely,
to you.
without question.
Where did you go to school at?
My kindergarten was called Carver, which is now torn down. And I went to school in Tampa.
Okay, in
Kindergarten
Tampa.
was Carver. Elementary school was Canella Elementary.
Okay.
Middle school was Stewart Middle
So
Magnet.
it was all in Tampa.
Everything in Tampa. And
Okay.
then the first college I went to was in Tampa. Then I left to go to South Carolina, Denmark Technical. It was too cold. I couldn't do it. I've been in Florida my entire life,
Yeah, I
and
know
I'll keep it
somebody,
that way. Then I came back to finish up at IRSC.
Okay. So you mentioned about the dilemma that you had at home
Correct.
and how you were able to find relief at school
Right.
in the process.
Yes.
How did school help you? In what way did it help you to what you were not getting at
Right.
home?
School helped in a way that things became real. Home to me was more so a facade. I'm big on vibes. Something just didn't feel right. I'll say it this way. Growing up, I watched something called The Stories. Me, my birth mother, my big brother love them. Guiding Light, As the
Yeah,
World Turned. These are the days of our life.
I
Young and the
remember those
Restless, the
days.
Bold and the Beautiful.
Wow.
I love
You
them.
really got into that?
Yes, yes.
That
I
was all
love
around
them.
me, but I never got into it. So
We
Okay.
watched it religiously.
Okay.
Didn't miss a time or a day. But what I noticed was all of the successful people, the people in positions of authority, political power, and wealth, they all resembled people who didn't look like me.
okay.
When I
Okay.
went to school, I was surrounded by everyone who didn't look like me. From kindergarten, Miss Carter, she actually picked me to be in a gifted class. And from that point on, since kindergarten, she would always give me harder assignments. And I didn't know it then. And I would always complete
That's
all
what
of them.
Mama meant when she said you were smart.
And I'm a kid. I don't know what that
Right,
means.
right.
she told me to do something.
Yeah,
I
because
did
smart
something.
kids still have challenges academically. They, my daughter went to Yale, but she ended up in places where she needed someone to help her
Absolutely.
understand,
Right,
especially when it came to the math. But
Right.
so just because someone says I'm smart,
Right,
doesn't mean that
I
they don't need
help.
that extra
Absolutely.
help
And
to
that's-
get them over those lumps.
That's what Miss Carter was. She saw something and she began to nurture it. And then going into elementary school, my first grade year, they gave me a test. I aced the test. It was too easy. They gave me a second test, and I was able to complete things on the 4th and 5th grade level in the first grade.
So that helped you even with your self-esteem, knowing what you could do.
But I still didn't understand it as well. But then Miss June Wells, who was my gifted teacher, she was aware of it. And she helped me close by her for some unforeseen reason, because I would go home and the only love I saw was love of cousins and grandmother, and my grandfather worked all the time. That was the only man who was a part of my life. So I'm learning certain behaviors from the opposite sex. All of my life, women has drastically impacted me on a greater scale than men have. And that there's a safety but also a danger in that as well, because it takes a man to raise a man. There's only things that you can learn by seeing and not just hearing someone else say. And so what school was for me was, like I said, an escape, a relief, but also I knew that there was a better life out there, even though I didn't see it at home. So it kept me in a state of strive to get to that. And the sad reality is I saw it from every other race but my own, but nonetheless, I knew it was possible because I wasn't the one. I didn't come to the conclusion because of the color of my skin that's going to dictate my reality. I saw
And
another.
that's a good thing, because many times when you don't see a reflection, like you mentioned,
Of course, yeah.
you look at what is, not just what one says,
Exactly.
but you want to see what is happening
Right.
and what one does.
Right.
And when you look at that, many of our children of color, they do, just like you said, need fathers in the home.
Absolutely.
All children need fathers in the
Absolutely.
home, not just
Without
the
all-
women.
Yeah, absolutely.
You also see that all kids need to see their reflection of people who look like
Absolutely.
them in certain positions in order to build their self-esteem and say,
Right.
oh, they look like me as far as color or nationality or what have you.
Yes.
They did it.
Yes.
I can do it.
Simple.
So that's,
Simple.
that's important.
Because what that does, it eradicates excuses. because we all tell ourselves a story. That's why I love
that's good.
communication, because and not just communication to the masses or to someone else, but the things that I tell myself. Because I've seen the successful people such as Malcolm X, Marcus Garvey, Booker T. Washington, and all these other guys, I'm like, well, they look like me. They eradicated every excuse that says a person of color can't become great or phenomenal in life because of the color of their skin,
Right.
and because that doesn't dictate anything.
No, and the state of Florida, you know, one of their statutes is the importance of merging African American curriculum and history with the main subjects.
That would be great.
And not just African Americans, but they also say for the Hispanic community as well. But the importance of that is to show the great things you named, great people of history. And within the African American culture, we have great scientists, we have great engineers, we have people that have helped to make. Got a one man that helped to plant. He was heading up the plan in Washington D.C. to make that a possibility and reality. I mean, it goes on and on. I like to focus on the positive.
Right.
And you know, we all hear about slavery.
Yeah, of course.
But you know, how does that build someone up of color?
Yeah.
So that is why the state of Florida has produced a statute to say,
which is wonderful.
you know, and I believe that as we merge it, if it's a science class, we need to just make it normal.
Which is,
you know, introduce someone of color who was a great scientist. You know, and then do that with several, because we have not just one, we have lots of them.
Of course.
Our history produced lots of these
a
people.
lot of inventors, a lot of creators, a lot of people who have made things that make this world go round and make it function better, make life a little easier to live.
Exactly.
But without a prior knowledge of that, then where are your aspirations? Is it just being a football player, a basketball player, a dancer, a singer, R&B singer, a rap artist? There's so many more options for everyone.
Right.
But if you don't take initiative, or if you don't know, then there won't be any initiative.
Right.
You'll always tell yourself, well, no one else has done it, and I can't
there's so
lie
many
and
others that
pretend.
have.
Yeah. If you're the first, there's a little bit of pressure there, which it shouldn't be, because whether you succeed or fail, you're the first. But being the first, you take all of the criticism. You get every single direction.
It's a new thing.
You failed. You didn't do this. You could have did that, and everyone wants to should on you, but no one should on themselves.
Right, exactly. Tell me about your books.
The first one is the one I hold near and dear to my heart, and I don't want to be the guy. Because of growth, it makes it more difficult to accept it. But the first one is called The Tears That Made Me Who I Am. It's a non-exhaustive autobiography in which I unfold things about my life that I'm not accustomed to talking about.
And I read that book. It's yeah.
And I speak about the importance of the role teachers had in my lives, the role coaches had in my lives. They became mother figures, father figures, mentors, friends. And
they
also
became what you really didn't have at home.
Absolutely.
As far as you had your grandparents.
Right.
And many children are being raised today because of drugs.
Yes.
You know, that have messed up parents' lives.
Right.
But we have these grandparents and even great-grandparents.
Yes.
In our after-school program, we have great-grandparents that are raising their children.
Right.
You know?
And it's unfair.
Yeah. But you were able to get that younger generation and those that were more like your parents' age through school that became mothers and father images for you.
Absolutely.
And in our school system, that is why we should cherish our teachers every day, because they are, I call them frontline warriors.
Yes, indeed.
Because they have to be more than teachers.
Listen, and I put that in the book. Believe it or not, you know, coincidentally you say that, but I dedicated an entire chapter to just teachers, because in kindergarten, it was Miss Carter. In elementary school, my gifted teacher, June Wells, who she just made everything worth it. She was someone who I wanted to make proud, so I worked my behind off. And she's also someone who sheltered me when I did wrong. What I didn't have at home, I went to school and I was stealing. I have an older brother and I have a younger brother. My birth mother didn't buy us anything. So there were no toys and everything else. I went to school and I was stealing. And I came home, and to see the smiles on my brother's faces from everything I had gotten was my motivation. I was always a selfless person, wanting to do more for other people. It was wrong. Stealing is wrong.
Right.
So
Let's make that
I'm going to
clear.
establish that
Right.
I was wrong. But in spite of the wrong behavior, she never once called me a negative word. She never once allowed that to define me. And that,
This was your 5th grade teacher?
I know my gifted teacher. I had her from 1st to 5th grade.
Okay.
So she had me for 5 years, and this was around my 2nd grade year. And she didn't allow the bad that I have done to define who I was holistically. That was a moment. She asked why, and once I explained to her, she hugged me, and she cried. And I'm like, I just stole your camera, and
Oh
you're
my gosh.
crying? And I mean, it was Game Boys, it was puzzles, it was checkers, Chinese checkers, it was just so much stuff that I'd taken. I bought it all back. And I mean, it was such grace, such mercy. It taught me
That
a
is
lesson.
so hard to find.
It taught me.
So
and
you were
she
so
had
blessed
it.
in spite
She
of
had it.
your.
And this is elementary school.
Yeah.
Middle school, it was Miss Allen and Dr. Tucker Wicks. Dr. Tucker Wicks' biggest lesson that I still hold on to this day. She asked the whole entire class, "What's the most powerful thing in the world?" People say guns, bombs, love, and all of these different answers. She said words. I am a 12-year-old kid in the 8th grade looking at her like she is something from out of a sci-fi movie. Like, you're older than I am, and you're going to say words. This woman lost it. I thought she was one of the biggest fools I had met. But I listened. These are my thoughts. I wouldn't vocalize this too, because she's a woman who I respect. She was a black woman who held me accountable for everything, period. I couldn't get away with anything with her. And she would always speak life, though. She would always say, one day you're going to grow up and you're going to lead many people. And that was her words to me. And that woman there, she said, words can get you in, words can get you out, words can get you up, words can get you down, words can talk a person off of a cliff who wants to jump and commit suicide. Words, not love, not bombs, not guns, not knives, words. And everyone has the ability to speak those. And that was middle school. High school was Miss Morley and Miss Cheney. Those two, Miss Cheney would literally pull me up in front of the class and publicly shame me, saying, "This is the biggest fool I have ever had the privilege to teach. Smarter than all of you, but will not come to school and commit himself because school is too easy."
And that helped you?
I have a very strong personality.
Okay.
That's the reason why lack of a father in the house was my greatest hurt and harm. I needed a man who would put me in my place.
So you got the teacher that put you in your place.
And that's exactly what
That's
she
what you
was.
needed.
I don't need that coddle and, oh, I love you, you're beautiful, you're handsome, you're my good. No, listen, you making a stupid decision. Get your dumb behind in line or suffer the consequences from stupid behavior.
So she gave you that side.
And that's exactly, she would grab that ruler and give me a spanking in front of the whole class.
Back in them days it was
and
okay to do, right?
I would be, and the class would look, but then they notice he's in classes with all seniors. He has AP classes. He's my age. And then it was like, oh, what's the difference between me? And they began to question. And they would come and talk to me and everything, and I wasn't able to relate a lot because school just naturally came easy. I didn't see the difficulty in it with any subject.
Now you're still a young man. You just turned 30, 31, that type of thing, right? Why have you chosen to write books, to be an author? And what is your aspirations for your future? What do you have inside of you that you would like to see manifested?
Why I chose books and also YouTube videos and social media videos and everything is I've realized that all of life boils down to laws and principles. And I'm not just talking about speed and laws and things of that nature, but laws in the sense to where
universal
the law,
laws,
absolutely, something outside of you that if you understand them and apply them, you can get them working for your favor, or if you ignore them, they're going to work till you fail. We all believe in sowing and reaping, seed time and harvest. If you want a tree, you sow a seed.
That's right.
You know, and the Bible talks about these things as well. But what people don't understand is that there are laws of finances. There's laws of good health. And if there's laws of good health and laws of to lead to financial wealth, then those same laws will also be for your poverty. The law of association. Before I was a Christian, I was hanging around with people who did nothing but bad things. Guess what I would do by association? The exact same things. Now, was I a bad person? Who knows? I was doing bad things.
Like
so
they say, there's a lot of good people that's incarcerated.
It's absolutely true.
Yeah.
It's absolutely true.
So just the association of what you're...
And it's a law. I heard it said this way. If you have two people, one good, one bad, by the law of association, one will become like the other, and the stronger of the two will win. So if my good is stronger in me than your bad, you're going to become more good because I'm not going to bend. I'm not going to fold. I'm bulldogged. I'm straightforward. This is it. There is no deviating to the left or to the right. I have one destination. That's good. I have one destination. I'm going to be rich. I have one destination. I'm going to work out every day. I'll eat the right foods. I don't need fast food or any of that stuff because it's not me eating to live.
When you say that, I think about our teachers, our educators, again, in the classroom, and how they have to be very wise to make sure, with discipline even, to make sure that a strong personality of a child does not destroy children who would normally go one way, but words. They have such a way with words that they are leaders. And you have to be careful that other children do not follow if they're negatively leading children. So a teacher's job is a psychologist and all kind of things to deal with those kids. And that is why I'm so glad that we were able to do the referendum. That, you know, because they deserve it. They deserve that and more if that can be given to them, because they are just tremendous for our society. What would we do without them?
And that's the reason why I don't agree with the whole structure of society. One of the things I don't agree with, I love America, but it doesn't make any sense to me how a person can make more to send a person away for life than a person who gives every single day of their life, 5 days out of the week, to help raise the future.
The future.
Conceptually, I don't get it. They're doing far more. Teachers are doing far more than judges or lawyers. I get it. You went to school longer, but
and teachers, you know, I think about after school programs. And I think about our support staff, and I think about the community, and how our kids are so influenced based on what we do as all of us being educators. I think you said, you know, we're all educators.
Absolutely.
You know, because, and it's mostly what kids see, but I deal with kids every day after school with our after school program. And I'm constantly educating them in to be a whole person.
Absolutely.
Not just the academics, but the social skills.
That's the safety, Dr. Mills, is that life is fivefold. I break it down into 5 distinct parts: spirit, soul, body, financially, and socially. If you're able to focus on those 5 key areas and to grow every single day, you know, my slogan is me versus me. I, on every single video, I
love
say
that slogan.
It's not black versus white, male versus female, rich versus poor, Democrats versus Republicans, Asia versus America. The battle is, and always has been, me versus me.
That is so
powerful.
If
I can wake up every single day and understand, I've been running every day. I got up to 248 pounds. When I moved from Tampa, I weighed 163 pounds. So I gained nearly 80 pounds since moving. And my muscles are getting tight, and
so
the minor things hurt me, so I started running.
Laws of the universe.
Exactly. Now I'm getting them working in my favor. I'm eating better and everything. No more pork, no more beef, chicken. It's hard to let that go, but very seldom I'll eat it if I want to. And I've never been big on sodas or sweets, but I've been focusing on my mile marker time. And before, it was hard to run 1 mile. but I did it every single day, Dr. Mills.
Mm-hmm.
And now I wanted to get under 10 minutes. I got 9 minutes and 46 seconds. I'll go out today and I'll beat that. I'm always competing against who I was yesterday.
Me
because
versus
the
me.
The person I admire most isn't who I am today. It's the person who I can be tomorrow. But in order for me to be that tomorrow, I have to work my butt off today, Dr. Mills. I want to make sure I read my
just doesn't
Bible
come.
and pray. No,
Right,
it's
it
work.
just doesn't come.
And whether it's easy or hard, it's work.
Right.
So if it's hard, do it hard.
And
if
if you
it's easy,
don't do
easy.
it, you stay in the same place that you were in
and
a year
regret.
ago.
Regret.
And the repercussions of that. And I'm thinking about even in the health area. And it's a
Yes.
reality, it's a
Yes.
fact.
Yeah, I look at a lot of
But
people
if
that
we
age.
don't discipline and do the work, and you know,
Yes.
when I say that, I don't say like I'm not there.
Right.
But I'm always working
To get
on
it.
being there. And that has kept me from being, because I love food.
You want to hear a secret?
I could easily be like, you know, really large because but I know the principles of what you eat is what you become. So you got to balance it in life
Yes.
and work it. And
that
so
goes
yeah,
into
I
everything we
appreciate it.
said
I respect the running. I don't run.
Right, which is walking
Because
works.
I'm concerned
Walking
about
works.
these knees
Now,
and
listen,
but
if
I
you
walk.
it's still you're getting your
Yeah,
heart
I
rate
know.
up. So
Yeah.
and that's something else I always get people. If it's me versus me, I don't spend my life comparing it to other people. When I think of Les Brown, when I think of Eric Thomas, Jim Rohn, Zig Ziglar, Brian Tracy, Jack Canfield,
right now.
these are phenomenal speakers. And if I compare where I am today to where they are, and they're 20, 30, 40, 50, 60 years older than I am, and Jim Rohn is already passed, I'm always going to feel like I can't do something. But if I look in the mirror and say, Joseph, what book can you read
Be real
today?
with Joseph.
Can
Yeah.
you pray today? Can you meditate today? When can you fast?
Be real with
what
Joseph.
can you say no to? Did you work on your book today? What goals are you pursuing? Where are your ambitions at today? Are you moving yourself forward?
There you
I
go.
love the quote by Martin Luther King. He said, you can't fly, run. If you can't run, walk. If you can't walk, crawl. But no matter what you do, move forward by any means necessary.
Yes.
Be better
Yes.
today.
Yes.
And then that'll ensure tomorrow the vision I have of myself
That's good.
will be fulfilled.
And not spend a lot of your energy worrying
What's the
about
point?
what's tomorrow.
What's the
Just
point?
work today and do your best
Absolutely.
today, and eventually your best will
Yes.
make your future.
Absolutely.
And
A
things will
reality.
work out
Yes.
because you're doing the best
Where
you can
focus
today.
goes, energy flows.
Each day, yeah.
Where focus
that is
goes,
so great.
energy flows.
Wow, I tell you, our 30 minutes go so quickly. I don't
does.
think
It
I've hardly
does.
asked you anything. We
And
just
wh-
have
and
talked.
which is
Tell us, what's your favorite music?
My favorite
We're gonna
music,
hit some things really quick now.
Anything with a positive and inspiring message. I believe the things that we hear create our way of thinking, and thinking always leads to action. And if you want proper behavior, listen to the right things.
What are you most proud of?
What am I most proud of? My relationship with Jesus Christ, without
Okay.
fail. I love me some Jesus. I
that's
love
made
the
you a
Word of God
difference.
and the Bible. And I also love books, Dr. Mills. I'm an avid reader of books.
Okay. If you could travel anywhere in the world, where would you go? And what would you do?
Anywhere Jesus went, I want to see where he walked. I want to see
So
where his feet
Jerusalem?
touched. Yeah, and all around the Judea and all of
Okay.
those different areas.
Okay. We're about out of time.
What
I think
you
I have
said.
one more question,
Okay.
and that would be, how do you spend your free time?
Like I said, I listen to people who I aspire to be like.
You run?
I
You
run,
read?
I read, I like fasting, I meditate a lot. I enjoy meditation, just getting the world out,
Yeah.
centering myself, and whether it's focusing on one scripture or certain kinds of scriptures, but
Mr. Dillard, we are out of time.
That is okay.
But I certainly do appreciate your story and what
Yes.
you've had to say.
Yes.
And I would have you back next month if I could, but I've got to make room for others in this
I
community.
understand.
But thank you for
Oh, it's
always
my
being
pleasure.
there for us.
Yes, ma'am.
I send the school board thanks.
Yes.
And the superintendent thanks. I think we used one of your sayings. Actually, we did something like a commercial or
that's
something.
wonderful.
Yeah, I don't even know if you know that.
I
but
don't. That's
for
wonderful.
Westwood.
Okay.
Yeah. So listen, we are so appreciative of you.
Thank you.
And you will be back.
I look forward
Thank
to
you
it.
so much
God
for
bless you.
coming.
Not a problem at all.
God bless you too.